Says I'm live. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for January 1st. Happy New Year. January 1st is the first day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 364 days remaining to the end of the year, 365 if it happens to be a leap year. This is known as New Year's Day since it's the beginning of the year. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are included in the show notes. I ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Remember that you could share this video with others with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. Let's see what else. Oh, yes, there's also a link to my This Day in History playlist in the show notes, and I'll put it up in the corner there in the iCards as well. And we're going to start out by talking about that there's been a lot of fiddling and tweaking with calendar systems over the last over 2,000 years. 2,000 years and beyond, really. Started out with what you could call a lunar calendar based simply on observation of the moon, the way it waxes and wanes, and its placement, appearance relative to the stars, nothing formal. This will have been used in prehistoric times. Then early Roman civilization developed a 10-month calendar, which they credited to their legendary first king and culture hero, Romulus. Maybe Romulus did come up with that first 10-month calendar, and maybe he just got credit for it because they didn't have any good, accurate records about its origin. I don't know. But the 10-month calendar, ancient Greeks followed a lunar cycle of 12 29.5-day months. And apparently this made sense to the Roman Republic as they began to follow this method with only slight variations in what we would call the calendar of the Roman Republic. The Roman Republic calendar added a feature where some months would have 31 days, others would have 30 days, and February would have 28 days, more similar to what we have now. In 304 BC, a fellow named Gnaeus Flavius made some more changes to the calendar, which included the custom of publishing the calendar in advance of the month. This allowed for a more consistent calendar for official business. Good for planning. In 46 BC, Julius Caesar made some more changes to the way we keep calendars, adding a few more 31-month days and a leap day every 4th year, in order to bring the Roman calendar more in alignment with the solar year. This, by the way, is what we call the Julian calendar after Julius Caesar, the Julian calendar. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced a tweak to the Julian calendar, introducing the calendar we know now as the Gregorian calendar. Calendar we currently use and which I reference every day when I tell you what day of the year it is and how many days are left in the year. A minor tweak, but one towards more accuracy. The Julian calendar was based on the idea that the average year was exactly 365.25 days long, 365.25 days long. And the Gregorian calendar increased that ever so slightly, almost imperceptibly. How could you even notice? But they did increase it to 365.2425 days long. How did they even know that? I don't know. No idea, but there you go. It was adopted bit by bit, the Gregorian calendar, worldwide as far as I know, which makes planning and record keeping a lot easier and more continuous. That said, sometimes when you look up events, reference might specify whether this took place according to the Julian calendar or the Gregorian calendar. The adoption of the Gregorian calendar wasn't instant. It was incremental across the world. So there are a few of those specifications given in today's events, and as I encounter them, I'll just say whether it's specified as a Julian date or a Gregorian date. And so it is that on January 1st, 1502, in the Julian calendar, the present-day location of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, was explored by the Portuguese. Scotland was recognized on January 1st as Scotland recognized January 1st as the start of the year, beginning January 1st, 1600, in the Julian calendar. Before that, March 25th was considered the beginning of the year, in Scotland anyway. And when I saw this, I thought of someone I know whose birthday is March 25th, and I thought, well, March 25th is the beginning of the year for her. Charles II was crowned King of Scotland on January 1st, 1651, in the Julian calendar. Anno Domini and Anno Mundi is a whole other discussion, maybe for another time, but on January 1st, 1700, in the Julian calendar, Russia began using the Anno Domini era instead of the Anno Mundi era of the Byzantine Empire. Bouvet Island, described as the world's remotest island, Louisier, on January 1st, 1739. And I hope I got that pretty close to right. French is not my primary language, as you might guess. Discovered on January 1st, 1739, in the Gregorian calendar. That little island is way out there in the middle of nowhere, too. Subantarctic. That means it's inside the Antarctic Circle, at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean between South America and Africa. It is way out there. It is uninhabited, and given where it's located, I don't imagine it's going to be inhabited anytime soon. Moving forward through history now, the rest of these items will have taken place on dates in the Gregorian calendar. So on January 1st, 1776, General George Washington hoisted the first United States flag, the Grand Flag at Prospect Hill. Now the Grand Union flag. He raised the Grand Union flag at Prospect Hill. The Grand Union flag had the red and white stripes like our current flag does, representing the 13 colonies. But up in the corner where we have the blue field with the white stars, the Grand Union flag had that sort of X asterisk shape in red, white, and blue, emblem of the Kingdom of Great Britain flag up in the corner where our stars now reside. The French Republican calendar was abolished on January 1st, 1806. The first Polish stamp was issued on January 1st, 1860, replacing the Russian stamps previously issued. Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom was proclaimed Empress of India on January 1st, 1877. Engineer and inventor Stanford Fleming had promoted the concept of a worldwide standard time zone system, a prime meridian, and the use of a 24-hour clock for accurate timekeeping. And on January 1st, 1885, 25 nations adopted his proposal for standard time and time zones. Spanish rule in Cuba ended on January 1st, 1899. The first American college football bowl game, the Rose Bowl between Michigan and Stanford, was held in Pasadena, California on January 1st, 1902. The Republic of China was established on January 1st, 1912. And I'll just tell you here that, oh my goodness, a lot more things have happened on January 1st throughout history. That's all I'm really going to go over right now. But if you're curious or interested in seeing more about things that happened on January 1st, I cover some other items in last year's episode, and I'll link that up in the iCards as well. And by the way, I want to mention, y'all be sure and eat your black-eyed peas today, January 1st. Black-eyed peas on January 1st. Why? Well, they're considered to be good luck. And why is that? Grandma Susie would always make sure we had our black-eyed peas. She usually served it. She made it had cornbread in it. She didn't get it out of a can. She made them from dried beans. And my husband had cooked up some lovely black-eyed peas from dried beans. They're delicious. Anyway, black-eyed peas, good luck. And why is that? Well, I asked her that when I was a little girl, and she said that they're humble, you know. They're humble. They're not bad, but they're humble. And, you know, when you start out at the bottom, the year can only get better. I don't think those were her exact words, but that's how I took it. And I thought, well, they may be humble, but they're pretty tasty, so I'm not opposed to eating them. And but there's more to that story. And I didn't put it in the script today, but I did take some notes about it. Let's see where my notes are. In a little book. I appreciate a little book like this. Move this thing out of the way. All righty. So apparently you hear it talked about that black-eyed peas is a Southern thing. I don't know if it's just a Southern thing. I didn't really think growing up in Oklahoma that I was all that Southern, but I just know that Grandma Susie always made sure we got our black-eyed peas on New Year's Day for good luck in the coming year. And already mentioned all that. So a plausible story about black-eyed peas being good luck involves the Civil War. Apparently, black-eyed peas were considered just to be only suitable for animals, like, you know, animal food, pet food. And when Sherman sent his troops through the South, well, he would have his soldiers commandeer food and take lodging in the homes of the people as they went through. And I don't know if they had some notion that black-eyed peas were animal food, but they weren't about to take any black-eyed peas. They took everything but the black-eyed peas and the salt pork, and that's all that the people who lived there and stayed there had. And as winter came, that was what got them through the winter. And so they considered black-eyed peas to be lucky. That is one story that I heard. So black-eyed peas with some kind of pork. Grandma Susie always made it with either a ham bone or ham or something. Mr. Bowers makes it with bacon, puts, you know, a few slices of bacon in with the black-eyed peas just to add a little flavor. So, yep, y'all be sure and eat your black-eyed peas today. I'm not kidding. A rising tide raises all ships. And if you're lucky and you're lucky and you're lucky and you're lucky and you're lucky, then it raises the bar for all of us and we all get lucky. Anyway, let's see here. We need to close this out. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure and give it a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. This is the longest episode I've done in a while. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.